Solomon, king of wisdom and shadow, the whisper of destiny for millennia, his name has haunted dreams and dawns. Solomon, a word that stirs wonder, an echo in the halls of time, a shadow against the stars. In the twilight of an ancient era, he stands immortal in legend, a king born from prophecy and mystery. From the very moment of his birth, under secretive skies and sovereign omens, the path of this child was paved with questions, power, and an otherworldly promise. He strides through the mists of eternity, leaving us to wonder what secrets hide behind the title, King of Wisdom, born of prophecy. He was born to King David in Bathsheba, a child conceived of hope and sacrifice. Solomon entered the world amid solemn rituals, anointed from cradle to throne. Even as a boy, there was a spark in his eyes, an ancient wisdom flickering in his gaze as if he carried the collective soul of his people. They called him peaceful, but in his small hands he already held the promise of kingdoms yet to come. In the hush of Jerusalem, prophets and priests whispered his name. This child will be unlike any king before him. He bore in his blood the legacy of a nation, and in his gaze the future of all it could become. In him, myth and reality began to entwine. The divine gift from his youth, Solomon thirsted for wisdom. One midnight, the heavens answered. In a dream, a voice spoke. God would grant him a gift beyond measure, wisdom to judge right from wrong, to rule justly, to unlock the secrets of creation. But the gift came with a symbol, a mysterious ring. Forged by divine hand and graven with celestial sigils, it bound heaven's mandate to Solomon's finger. With it, he could command angels and demons alike. The door between mortal and spirit worlds stood ajar at his touch, and the ring itself glowed with an inner fire, the emblem of his sovereignty over realms unseen. Covenant with the unseen in the silent chambers of the temple he built, Solomon began an uncanny work. By flickering candlelight and in ancient tongues, he called forth the spirits of the abyss. Under the moon's dark gaze, he whispered their true names, sealing pacts with blood and faith. Mighty jinn and demons answered his summons. With eyes alight they bowed, for obedience was his to command. He wrote the contracts in a cipher only the initiated could understand, binding restless shadows to the will of a mortal king. By night he treated the unseen as law, bending wind and fire and shadow like threads in a tapestry. Forbidden tomes legends say that in secret alcoves of his great library, Solomon penned books of power, not scriptures of law or poetry, but forbidden tomes. These were the keys and seals of the unseen, conjurations and incantations, veiled in arcane cipher. In trembling whispers they speak of the clavicle of Solomon, each page heavy with mystic symbols. Did Solomon himself ink those words, or did some hidden hand write truth too dire to speak? The story goes that he hid such parchments in tombs and vaults, their secrets too dangerous for mortal eyes. Others claim the pages were scattered to the wind, lying under dust in forgotten temples. In any case, his name remains attached to those grimoires. A gatekeeper to knowledge men dare not openly seek. Judge of the infernal great tales tell of Solomon standing as judge among demons. Summoned before his golden throne, even the blackest spirits trembled under his gaze. Speak the truth, he commanded in a voice like thunder, and they obeyed. With divine justice, he cast down the rebels and bound the rest to his service, even harnessing them to carve stone for his holy temple. Not one could resist the ring on his finger or the wisdom in his eyes. Mighty fell creatures bowed before him, for in the presence of God's chosen king, darkness itself revealed its face. The king's downfall, but no crown is without thorns. In the twilight of his reign, a darker music began to play. 700 wives and 300 concubines walked Solomon's halls, each heart a torch for a foreign god. Love turned to idolatry as he built altars under the velvet night, offering incense to carved idols of stone and silver. For each idol raised, a piece of heaven's blessings slipped away. The ring that once blazed with heavenly light grew icy with regret. The wise king fell, consumed by desire and doubt, turned away from his one true source of power. He traded a crown for a curse. Echoes of eternity. When Solomon's time ended, the great temple stood silent in the morning haze. His throne lay empty, his voice a mere echo in the stone, yet his story was far from finished. Brick by brick, rumor by rumor, his name wove into legend. Tales of his wisdom and warnings spread through the ages. The proverbs and psalms he left behind survived as whispers of an age. Scholars quoted his insights, mystics murmured of his power, but beyond written word, it was the legends that took flight. To seekers of all kind, he became a figure of fascination and fear, a wise sovereign and a sorcerer king entwined. Some searched for his ring, others hunted his scrolls. Was it a hidden ring, a lost book, or simply a clue to unimaginable power that drove them? In the end, Solomon's legacy remained a riddle carved in stone and memory, myth or reality. Now we ask, was Solomon's story born of truth or legend? Did a mortal king truly write grimoires and bind demons? Or do shadows hide in our own fears and dreams? History paints him as the wisest of kings, a builder of wonders, a ruler at peace with God. But legend casts him in magic and mystery, an archetype larger than life. Perhaps the answer lies somewhere in the mist, between scripture and shadow, where faith meets folklore. Maybe he was both, a wise monarch who dabbled in things beyond his understanding, and a mirror reflecting our fascination with the forbidden. In that twilight where myth and reality blur, Solomon remains an immortal question that we dare to ask. The eternal question his era has faded into the annals of time, but Solomon's legacy endures. His ring and scrolls may be lost to tombs, but the questions he posed remain. If power and knowledge were laid before you on a silver platter, would you seize them knowing their cost? Would the hunger for wisdom lead you to glory, or become the whisper that heralds your undoing? Now I leave you with this question. If Solomon's secrets lie before you, will you dare to open them? And what price are you willing to pay?